Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Now, are you in the market for a phone that offers reasonable spec for the price and it looks a little bit different? It's a little bit cool. If indeed you are, you may be interested in the Cubot X100. So let's quickly unbox it. I've had this a long time. I got it in December the 9th, and it is now February the 20th when I'm recording this video. So yeah, I've had this a long time. Reasons for that I'll get to. But let's unbox it. It's a very hard box and it is padded at the top. Now unfortunately, because I unboxed this such a long time ago, I don't have it set up how it came in the box. The phone was in a plastic sleeve. It now isn't. I'll put that over there for a minute. But you do get a load of paperwork, instructions, quick start guide, that kind of thing. It also came with a clear case, which I threw away because I didn't realise this phone came with a case at all, so I bought one. You also get a USB-C cable in the box, USB-A to USB-C, and this one, because it's the global version, it came with a 2-pin plug. I've got so many chargers, it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, that's just to let you know it does come with a 2-pin plug. So if you haven't got a phone charger, which is doubtful. Okay, and then we get the phone itself. So it does come with a pre-applied screen protector, which is good. As I say, it does come with a clear case, but I had already bought one, so I didn't use the clear case. And in fact, I think when you see this case, you'll understand why. My wife hates it, but I think it's pretty cool. It's like graffiti case. Yeah, anyway, I won't put it on for the sake of this video, but normally that lives on the phone. So what makes this phone different to your standard phones is this on the back. It does have a separate screen. It has a rear 1.7-inch screen. So you can control things like your music, you can take photos with it. There's compass, clock, things like that. So I'll just talk through some of the specs you get with this phone, and I'll put the graphics up on the screen so you're not just looking at my boring face while I'm talking about them. Okay, so this phone, even though it cost me £142, it is currently around about £160. The specs on it are decent. I think they're really actually pretty good. Now this comes with a MediaTek Dimensity 7025 CPU, which is built on a 6nm process, and it is 5G ready. A lot of these cheaper phones, budget phones, they're not 5G ready, but this one is. So this runs 2 cores at 2.5 GHz and then 6 cores at 2 GHz. It is an 8-core CPU. It has 8 GB of RAM built in, but this can be expanded to 16 GB using 8 GB of internal storage. This comes with 256 GB, which is plenty at this price point. The display is where they've not cut corners, but they've had to, a little bit more cost saving, because it's not full HD, but it is a 1640 by 720 resolution. So not the highest resolution, but more than usable, and actually it is a decent screen. I like the display on this phone. It's 6.88 inches and up to 120 Hz refresh rate, so it is a decent refresh rate. It's got 64 megapixel main camera, 5 megapixel wide angle, and a 2 megapixel macro on the back, and also a 16 megapixel selfie camera. This also has a second, as I've mentioned, 1.72-inch rear display, and you can use this to take selfies and photos using the main camera, because obviously it's aiming at you. This also comes with Android 15, and it has 2 speakers that actually sound pretty good. For a phone this price, I was surprised. Yeah, the sound quality on this is decent. It has a 5100 milliamp hour battery with 33 watt fast charge, so it's not super fast charging, but 33 watts is still plenty fast enough. Side mounted fingerprint sensor, and it also has face unlock, which in good light works really quickly. Another benefit of this phone compared to other cheap phones I've tried is it does have NFC, so you can use this to make your contactless payment, your Oyster card if you live in London, things like that, you can stick onto your device. Okay, so that's some of the specs that you get with this phone. So I did briefly mention there that this has 4 cameras. Now I will go over the cameras later, and there will be some examples of pictures that I've taken using the various cameras and comparing them to my Honor 200, which is my daily phone. Again, it's a budget orientated phone. It cost me about 200 quid. The reason why I went for that one is because the specs are, again, decent for the money and the cameras are really good for that price point. Let's see how this one compares. You may be surprised. You may not be. The screen on this is actually really nice. It is bright. Now that is at full brightness, which obviously is hard to tell because the camera adjusts accordingly. But this phone gets plenty bright enough when you're outside. Let me just quickly check actually. So at maximum brightness, this outputs approximately 460 nits, which is not the brightest, but it's bright enough. I didn't have any problems with this. And that takes me on to why it's taken me so long to do this video. I unboxed it back when I got it in December. Done the unboxing video. Threw away the clear case. Well, I don't know if I've thrown it away. I've put it somewhere and it's so safe I can't find it. I don't throw anything away. My wife hates that, but I just don't. So yeah, I've done the unboxing video and I thought I'll use the phone for a few days as my main phone. And then at the end of the week or whatever, I'll do the review video. I'll do the actual finished video. Well, I ended up using this for about 3 weeks before I'd even bloody remembered that I was meant to be testing it because everything just worked. The only time I actually thought I'm still using that phone was at the end of December when we went to Longleat Festival of Light. And I thought, I want to take my main phone because of the cameras. I'll get onto that in a bit. So yeah, I'd used this for about 3 weeks and it gave me no issues whatsoever. Whereas the other budget phones I've bought, there are some downsides, like no NFC. This has NFC. I put my banking details on it and I was making payments with it, no problem. The performance on this, the Dimensity 7025 is a decent chip at this price point. It's actually pretty good. It's not going to be for high-end gamers. It's not going to be for the people that want to play the latest AAA titles, high specs. But for casual gamers, for everyday performance, it's absolutely fine. I have found no issues with this. And the 8 gig of RAM, there was no hold-ups, there was no delays. You know, it is pretty snappy, as you can see. There's very little delay. Hold-ups. That was one of the first things I noticed with this phone. The performance is pretty good. The screen gave me no issues. All the things I used to do on my Honor, like watching YouTube sometimes and things like that, or scrolling, Temu, AliExpress, no problem whatsoever. This actually, and again, the speakers were also pretty good. For the price, the speakers are absolutely fine. They impressed me, actually. So that's why I didn't do the video, because I actually forgot I was meant to be doing a bloody review. I bought this, so it's not like Cubot sent it to me. Yeah, that's what delayed the video. The fact that I had no issues with this phone. Now, the reason why I went back to using my Honor 200 as my main phone, my daily phone, I say main phone, my daily driver, is because of the cameras. I kind of like the cameras on the Honor 200. So truthfully, I could actually live with this as my daily phone. I like it. I think it looks smart. I love the back of it. Yeah, I love the back of it with that Cubot oversized writing, the camera bump, and that little screen, which you double tap to turn on. I actually think this is pretty smart. The camera's on it. I think that the main camera, it looks like an old vinyl record kind of design. So it's modern and retro. I just think, yeah, it looks good. It feels good in hand. I like bigger phones, so it feels good to me. I like holding it. It's comfortable. That would have been my phone, apart from, as I say, one issue that I found, and that is the cameras. Now, the Honor 200 that I mentioned is also a budget phone. It cost me about 200 quid. I think they've come out with the Honor 400 now, so the 200 may even be cheaper. I don't know. I've not looked for a while. But it's been out a while, and the reason why I bought it, picked that phone when I was looking for is because of the cameras. The cameras always do really well in reviews and things like that. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And yeah, so yeah, the cameras on the Honor 200, straight out of the box, are really good. I find them to be more than adequate for that price point. More than usable. You know, they've not let me down. The cameras on the Cubot, I think, is where it's a little bit disappointing, because when it said it had 4 cameras, I thought that's good. Normally these cheap phones, it might have 2 cameras on the back or 3 cameras, but only one of them actually works. The other 2 are just fake. But this has 3 genuine cameras on the back and your selfie camera. Now, the main camera is decent, as you can see here. I took these shots at a local church and both are okay, but the Honor is slightly more colour accurate and slightly sharper, especially when you zoom in and go full, 100%. But other day, in good light, the Cubot main camera is more than usable. It's decent. At night, darker photos is where the difference is more obvious. The Honor does a better job with these shots from Longleat. We went to Longleat Festival of Lights, and that is when I went back to my Honor as being my daily phone. I took the Cubot along as well to take some comparison photos. The X100 does okay. The pictures are usable. You can certainly show people what you've taken pictures of, but there is more detail in the Honor pic. The Cubot, they're just a little bit too bright. The Honor just does a little bit better at coping with like nighttime photos, picks out the light areas, picks out the detail a lot better than the Cubot. The Cubot is usable, but it's not as good. And a quick night video here, side by side. Now I held both cameras in together. So this video was taken at the same time, both cameras in my hands, which is why you can see my finger very just down in the corner. And yeah, I basically held both cameras in my hands, started recording, and then just slowly panned. And you'll also notice that as well as the Honor being slightly better quality, it's also a lot more stabilised. The Cubot is a very jerky, where yes, the Honor does a much better job of stabilisation. Now I didn't take daytime video with the Cubot, stupid me. Again, it's usable of a day, but it's not as stabilised as the Honor. So overall, in good light, the main camera, the 64 megapixel camera, is decent. It does an okay job. Not brilliant, but okay. The pictures come out sharp enough, clear enough. I think the colours are slightly off. It seems to over-enhance the colours slightly. So things that are beige, like the church, it almost appears to give it a slightly yellow tinge, just to try and over-enhance it slightly. But it does an okay job. I'm not disappointed with the main camera, really, at all, at this price point. The macro and wide-angle cameras are poor, and that's what lets this phone down. And I think it may have actually been better just to have the one camera, or maybe two cameras, two decent cameras, rather than go for three cameras that two of them are just not up to the job. On macro mode, it doesn't seem to focus. It's got a fixed focus length of 4 centimeters. But as you can see from this example, I took a ring that I recently purchased from AliExpress. As you can see, the Honor gets closer, and the Honor will focus close up as well. You can get closer, you can get more detail, and the color is slightly better again with the Honor. Cubot is usable, but it's harder to get a decent shot. You have to take a lot more to get the one good shot. But where the Cubot really falls on its face is the wide angle camera. Yeah, the wide angle on this is pretty poor, in my opinion. Now if you look at these pictures, the first one is of the church. Again, these were taken, and I'll put these up side by side so you can tell the difference. The Honor is just so much more clearer, it's usable, there's more detail, the colours are good. The Cubot, it comes out really dark. Now I thought it might be the case. Maybe the case is just blocking the lens slightly. So I took the case off and took it again. Made no difference. The wide angle lens on it does come out dark. There's no detail and there's very little colour. It's dull. It's just, yeah, it's strange. But yeah, the wide angle camera is just not usable in my opinion. It's just not. And then the picture along the canal, again, you can see how much detail the Honor picked up with its wide angle lens compared to the Cubot. And again, the picture was dark, lacking detail, and colours were very muted. Wide angle lens on this I would not use, and it doesn't need to be there because it's not bringing anything to the camera, really, which is a shame. I did take a few selfies, you can see from this one here. The selfie camera is okay. Yeah, there's nothing really to report with the selfie camera. It does a decent job at this price. It is just the wide angle and the macro lens that let this down regarding the cameras. The main camera is okay and the selfie camera is okay, but the other two, they shouldn't be on this phone. So what are my final thoughts on the Cubot X100? And is it worth the price, which has now gone up to about £160 in the UK? Or is it just gimmicks over functionality and performance? Well, no, I actually still really like this phone, and I'm actually going to try more Cubot products. I'm tempted to try one of their flagship phones because the price on it is ridiculously cheap compared to other flagship devices. So I've tried this one out, and everything that they say is genuinely true. The 8GB of RAM that can be expanded, the 256GB, I've tested it all. The 4 cameras, there are genuinely 4 cameras, even though 2 of them are not very good. There are 4 cameras there. The screen on the back, everything that they said this phone does, it does. So that's making me think I'm going to try out one of their higher priced one. So I'm tempted. If any of you guys got another Cubot device, maybe a higher end device, what are the cameras like on it? Because that's the one thing for me that is important, the cameras. So that is going to be the difference between me keeping a phone and not keeping a phone. Other little side issues I can live with, like maybe the screen isn't super bright, things like that, but the cameras have to be good. But going back to this one, at the price I paid, £142, I still think this is a bargain. I really do. For the performance, what the spec that you're getting, the fact that it's made, it seems to be made really well. It feels good in the hand. It looks good. It stands out from the norm with that second screen and the way the cameras are designed. You know, the two speakers work really well. Stereo is pretty good. The effect is good on this phone. Sound quality is good. So the styling, everything about this phone I really like, apart from the two cameras. Now you could say that the second screen is a little bit gimmicky. You wouldn't use it. I didn't really use it that much, to be fair. But it's there if you want it, and it's there if you would actually make use of it. It's there, and it works absolutely fine. It works really well. It's clear. It's something like 360 by 320 pixels. So again, it's basically a watch screen. It is basically a watch screen that they've put on the back of the phone. In short, yes, I do still recommend this phone. I think even with its shortcomings, it's a really nice phone to have and to hold. And to me, it looks more expensive than what it is. It feels more expensive in hand. It feels like a nice phone. I like this a lot. It is a shame that the old cameras let it down, because I really do like it. So yeah, I recommend this phone. I recommend Cubot because this is my first Cubot device ever. I may not even be saying that right, Cubots, but it sounds like it is. It might be Cubot. Cubot. I don't know. But anyway, Cubot is how I'm going to pronounce it. Until someone tells me, yeah, wrong. Yeah, I've never tried Cubot before, but I'm definitely going to be trying them again. Drop your recommendations of other Cubot phones that maybe you've tried, that you think I would be impressed with. Because I definitely think my next phone will be another Cubot on this channel. Unless there's some phone companies out there that would like to send me some freebies. No? Okay. I'll keep buying them. I do still recommend it. I do like it. If you're not going to use a wide angle, and if you don't take many close-ups, then this will probably do you absolutely fine. If you do like taking wide angle pictures, and if you do a lot of close-ups, then this phone unfortunately won't be the phone you're looking for. But it's still a good phone. If you've got any questions, as usual, drop a comment, ask away. If you've got any suggestions, as I've just said, please let me know. Because, yeah, I definitely want to try out another Cubot. Or maybe another phone. Another cheap, right? And when I say cheap, sub £200 in the UK phone with good cameras. Drop a comment and let me know what you would recommend. Maybe it's a phone you've got and you've found it absolutely unbelievable for the price. I'm not even so bothered about other aspects like the screen resolution, things like that. The cameras are the main thing. So drop a comment and let me know what you recommend for me, and I will try it in the future to test them out. Yeah, if you haven't done so, but you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Costs you nothing, but obviously you then get to see me in the future. And who doesn't want to see this again in the future? Come on. I have to see it every morning when I brush my teeth and look at it. Oh God, I look getting old. Oh my God. Need Botox or something. And if you liked the video, found it informative in any way or entertaining, whatever, please give it a thumbs up. Again, it doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me. With that, I am going to get out of here. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon in the next one. But for now, guys, I will say bye-bye.